like this one because I've actually never been asked this. It depends on who it is. And as a kid, I didn't do well with it. I did okay with it when it came to other people, but there was a lot of people in my main life that mocked, ridiculed, and just made fun of me. So I did not do okay with negative criticism as a kid because I viewed it as, like someone who cared about me making fun of me in a sense. And it was really hard for me to come to terms with my disability and come to terms that, a lot of people are going to make fun of me my entire life. I can remember being in junior high and walking in with basically no one and not knowing anyone and being ridiculed, being kind of mocked, being legit picked up and dragged almost into the boys' bathroom. And even then at lunch, like that happened in homeroom, by lunch, someone was fake asking me out, getting in front of the whole cafeteria, fake asking me out, thinking it's funny and it's humorous, and he even got his buddy to go in on it. And that to me set up a lot of negative thoughts towards myself and my disability in general. So I had a really hard time dealing with the criticism. I would come back at people for criticizing me. I would always try to stand up for myself. I'd always make fun of myself in order to make the people that were making fun of me feel like it wasn't as strong. It didn't have as large of a power over me. I never let people see me cry. I always tried to not hurt people, but I did. And it's because I was hurt. I always tried to make people understand, and no one ever asked how I was doing, if I was okay. No one really did beyond what they were required to. So over time, I learned to have my own self, have my own corner, be there for myself. And I just started to focus on me, and it was really hard because I was going through a lot externally also besides my disability and the bullying and the harassment and just being criticized constantly everywhere we go. And I think the biggest issue, the biggest thing I had to conquer was not me not being okay with it, my family not being okay with it, because my mom has always specifically been concerned about the comments I receive and what I may receive. Like when I got my first tattoo, she was very concerned about the way people were going to look at me. I remember going to the zoo at 16 and wearing a low-cut shirt and getting ridiculed by a mom sitting there with her child and saying that, how could a mom ever let their kid walk around like that? And I just looked at her. Because it's not any of her business. And it's not okay for her to say that because I'm okay with hearing it, but my mom was not. And for me, that was the biggest hurdle, is not being okay with the negative criticism myself, but being okay with the negative criticism and how it's going to affect my family, because I can't change how they're going to think. I can't sit there and constantly be like, it's okay. I'm okay. You don't have to be worried. I love my mom. I love my family. I think that they worry a little too much when it comes to the criticism, because I do have a backbone now. I have developed that. But hurting me or saying something about me hurts my family, and that hurts me more than you can hurt me by saying it. And that's the most difficult part when it comes to criticism now. As a kid, it was more about me and how it made me feel. As an adult, it's how does it make the person I'm with feel. It's not about me anymore. So I feel like over time, the negative criticism has made me really a lot less selfish when it comes to my disability and how I feel about it. And I also feel like I've built such a backbone and learned how to be there for myself, because dealing with that negative criticism growing up, and even as an adult, even as at a job where you have coworkers, I had to stand up for myself before anyone else felt it was okay to stand up for me. Felt it in any way on that it was okay. I remember being there with coworkers and being like, if someone comes up to you, just get me. Because I know you're uncomfortable. I know it's an awkward situation. And it wasn't until they saw how I dealt with it and how I received that person, whether they were negative or positive, after learning about my disability, till they were okay with dealing with it, until they were okay knowing what to say. I've always had to be the leader when it came to showing people how to handle my disability. And I worry more about how they're going to be affected than how I'm affected now. And that's not necessarily the best thing, and I'm working on focusing on myself more like I was as a kid. But I am more concerned with how you're going to affect someone else by putting that comment than how you're going to affect me now. So that's the evolution of negative criticism in Shauna's brain. I hope that helps.